All right, wagwan everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. It is Friday morning on February 25th. We're just about to begin the last session of the week for the New York Open. Glad you could join us. And we'll be beginning, that's hard to say, in a few minutes here, in a couple minutes, because the bell is about to ring to start the battle. So thanks for joining us, and as usual with me, Mr. George Pitcher from New Jersey.
Good morning from New Jersey. Good trading, everyone.
Our admin is also with us, Mr. Vic Young. He's in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I'm over in Victoria, British Columbia. So the bell's about to sound, and we'll start in to see how this market's going to go today.
You want to open your chart?
Yes, let me show my screen. Good idea there, George. Okay.
There we go.
I think we got less than a minute.
And there's the bell.
Okay, the battle begins. Let's see how she does today. Okay, we're expecting a strong open today, so looking at the diamonds on the hourly time frame here. I'm going to switch it back and forth so we can get a renewal. Looking at the cues on the 15-minute time frame, looking at the SPY on the 5-minute time frame, and looking at the Q or the IWM Russell 2000 on the 1-minute time frame. So I'm going to just hone in on this one. Okay, so there we go. All right, so that was the expected open to the upside. So we'll see how it plays out here in the next few minutes. Yesterday's move from down the bottom was quite a big surprise. And so I've got this zone marked off here, the pink zone, expecting price to come into the pink zone and then retrace. So it looks like that's what it's starting to do already. So let me go in a little closer and see. So we touched the pink zone. We might have one more push back into it, but we'll see. If not, then we're good. The expectation was that we'd come into the pink zone and then retrace to the downside. So we'll see if that plays out. Okay, we had another push into it. Now, of course, we could even go higher, George. We do have a 1, 2, 3 at this point here, but we're very close to the peak of this move. So, yes, we could do one more of these, but it would be. I don't really want to take the market to the upside at this point. Again, we're sitting, let me see if I can go to the 15. Yeah, we're sitting right in that area where we should get a pullback here at this point. But if not, then that means we are really strong and we're going to continue pushing to the next, perhaps, maybe even to here. These are all totally possible as well. We've broken past our zone already, so maybe it is stronger than I figure. Okay, so doesn't want to stop, George.
It tagged, let me see, what's the high price they got in there? 199.34. I am on a 1 minute chart, but we have to wait for a few candles before we can make a real determination what's going on. It's
Well, I
trying to
certainly
push
didn't want to
higher
go
at
long.
this point. It's above the 20 moving average, and that's a simple moving average on the 1
Well,
minute
listen.
chart.
Interesting. I noticed that in TOS, George, my chart keeps blinking.
Keep blinking?
Yes. You ever notice that occurs?
No,
No?
mine are not blinking.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not sure if it's because of the time frame or what the story is, but it blinks on and
I'm
off.
on a 1 minute chart.
Okay, so I switched time frames. I want to come back to it again and see if it's the same. It could be just that because of it hasn't been refreshed maybe. So let me just see if that's what it is. Yeah, it seems to have stopped now when I switch time frames and come back. So that
Yeah.
might be just what it is because I haven't refreshed it. Okay, so we had a little bit of a push. Again, I don't really want to go long at this point because of the move that it has made to this point. So,
No, I think we have to wait to see how things are beginning to unfold. Yeah.
but maybe it might do the same thing it did yesterday and just continue going up, up, up. But so that would be the next zone of contention right there. Market closed. Okay.
Well,
The S&P has a pin bar, and it looks like it's turning down a bit. So
yeah, I'm showing bear divergence on IWM 1 minute right now, which is a good sign.
The futures are, yeah, it might be another one of those slow mornings. Okay, now my chart doesn't want to load. Okay, great. No, it's totally frozen. Okay, I have to
You need
refresh.
your electricity, a cup of coffee, Lennox.
No, it's not the electricity. I have to refresh it. Super annoying. Okay, I'm gonna change these again. Diamonds, 1 hour. The Qs. There we go. 15. The spies. On 5. And the Russell IWM on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so back to the IWM on the 1 minute time frame. Are we at the point? So now I have to do this all over again, what I just did. So let me make it big. All right, so we looked for possibly coming into this area. Let's do everything over. So order.
A 5-minute chart?
This is a, that was a 15, I think, 15-minute chart.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the 15. So that's what I would expect. Again, we're just touching that here. I mean, I'm not being perfectly precise. Let me be perfectly precise here, as precise as I can be. Okay, so back to the 1 minute. So we're very close to that zone. So like I said, this could be that kind of move. So we could push it like this into the zone at this point. So that would be the final move. But I've been wrong before, so we'll see. This has been fooling me all the way up. So there are two other areas. There's another little area just above this, so I could stretch the zone to something like that. And that's totally possible that we could come up into that. But my expectation is that we should be getting a turnaround imminently.
Yeah. I've got ticks down to the 0 line right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go over this chart. So I've got no indicators on the chart. I'll just leave the indicators off for now. I'm just gonna go over the chart just to get you an idea of what I'm seeing on the larger picture. So, whoops, let me start again. Overall, I'm seeing this move that has played out. So that was our first structure from back to 2020 to this point. That was our regular structure that we look at, and we could say at this point that we're at wave 5, and then we get an ABC retracement, and that's exactly what that played out. So after that move, then the next expected move in the structure, would be to go to the upside, to continue to the upside. So that's what that did, and we got that nice big move to the upside. So in this move to the upside, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. And at that point, we would come back to right here, and that's where we're sitting right now, in that area. So there's the structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're sitting at that little point. So the next obvious move then, or expected move, would be to the upside again. After that, we would be coming down, 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 down. So coming back down into this area. So if we go a little closer on the weekly time frame, that's kind of where we're sitting at this point. We're sitting in that, so the structure again, up and then down, and we're sitting right about here. So are we done? The question is, are we done at this point? And are we just going to be moving to the upside? So we kind of get a head and shoulders type of thing going on. You know, we could of course do the same sideways thing over here for a while before we come down, but that would, in any case, we'd be looking for a move back to the upside. But the question is, at this point, are we done this move to the downside? Because we could still come down further. That was the
At this
thing.
point, the NASDAQ is the only negative future of the one.
The US 2000 just turned and has a big candle down on the 1 minute.
Okay, so that was what I was expecting. So here we are on the daily, and we have come to this point of support. So this big huge move down took us down to this level. But here we have a 1, 2, 3 top. So this is the key right now. So I'm going to just focus on that. So if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, that one, this 1, 2, 3 top, I'm going to make this a little bigger now. This 1, 2, 3 top here is what's, oops, this is what is causing our current move to the downside. So this back down to the support area, and now we're bouncing. So my expectation at this point is that we should be in that area where we should be turning back around and heading to the downside to finish our structure in this. Okay, so going down to the 1-hour time frame and looking at this, this is what looks like it's playing out. So there's the movement. So then we would get a movement down from here to finish our structure. And at the bottom, then we would get the move back up. So if we're done at this point now, we'll come right into that ping zone. We should be getting a little 1, 2, 3 top formation to take us back down. So this is the hourly drop to the 15. We've come very close to that zone and drop down to the 5. And it still looks like we have another push to go from the 5-minute time frame. It still looks like we still have one more push to go into that zone. And then we come into the 1-minute chart. And yeah, still, again, like I say, this is still to the 200 mark. So could have played the say even the 200 calls or the 199 call at this point to the upside. Wow, okay, so that dropped quite a bit down all of a sudden. Let me just refresh again. Yeah.
Huh.
So it looked like it was going to go, but then decided nope. So the bears are trying very hard to turn things around here, but do they have enough oomph to bring it down?
The looking at just the ticks, they're quite small, and right now they're hugging the 0 line.
We can see that it's a little bit of a battle right now.
Yeah.
It's not doesn't have that vigor that it had yesterday.
That's right.
So I'm going to put the indicators on and just to I'm going to put
My indicators are showing that price is currently below the 20 and above the 50.
I'm going to put the 5
On the 1-minute chart.
and the 13. And the 199 in pink. Okay, so these indicators should indicate to me when price turns as well. So right now I'm very a long distance away from my 200. So I would be expecting price to come back to that 200. So back down to this area. So if we get that last move up into here, I will be looking to buy the 198 puts. So we need that to be pushing back to the upside.
On my 1 minute chart, prices staying between the 20 and 50. At this point, we have the battle going on.
It is a battle. It's very slow. I'm just going to take a look real quick and see if how. Okay, so my wife is trading this instrument. So she should be doing pretty good right now because it opened here and formed a 1, 2, 3, and so she's on her way more than likely to some profits again. And that's just basically the entry on that. So we're looking for price to open, and then at that point, any breach, if we get a 1, 2, 3, especially, and then we get a breach of that red bar, green bar, she'd probably be in here or here or here. She's got a couple of choices, and so she should be doing okay right now. It's a very simple concept, actually, but works quite effectively. So now she can just keep going because it's just hugging the moving average, and as long as it stays hugging that moving average, she can stay in the trade until we get a move away from it, and then that would be a signal to exit. Or if it starts to turn, dramatically as well, then you start looking to exit. So I think that was her choice. So we'll see. I'm sure she'll be coming to let me know. All right, so there we go. We're getting that push back up again. So this is just, again, the pattern of attack. So if this, again, if I'm correct, we should break this level one more time, come into this zone. And at this point, I'd be looking to buy the 198 puts. If I'm totally wrong here, then we're going to be breaking this and coming down right away. But let's see how that plays out. Ooh. The Dow is still, everything's still green on the board. Dow is up 221, and the other ones are a little weaker. But so yesterday we saw the Dow.
Positive, right?
Yeah, yesterday the Dow was the one
NASDAQ
that
just
was,
went negative again, so it's still the weaker one. So tech must be struggling, I guess.
we can take a look at the tech. IGV is the tech sector ETF. So this gives us a good gauge of that whole arena. And so on the daily, it's the same type of setup. We have a 1, 2, 3 here. So that is the controlling move. So it, again, looks like we should push to the downside from this move. I drop to the 4 hour and look at this. You can see that's the setup. So I would expect that we are very close to the end of the move, and we should be coming back down again. So it's almost exactly the same as what I just showed you with IWM. The only daunting thing at this point is that we still have room here to go up. So, this could push even higher up, back up to that 200, and that's the disconcerting part. So I can't neglect this possibility. You can't overlook this possibility that we could push still one more time.
I would put it above 62% of the high-low move on the chart.
So the reason I'm saying what I'm saying here is because we had this big push. So we could do that. We could come back down a little bit, and then we could do one more push to finish that structure. But this is a very long move here in this. So I don't know if we should be looking at a 1, 2, 3 here that done it and we're done, or the first one I did. So we go down to the 5 and take a look at the whole thing. So okay, so looking at this again, what I'm trying to say is that this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, but this one's very long, so it's kind of throwing everything off. So we could be at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which gives us the first one, and then now we're here at this point. So we could then push one more time. So that's totally possible. Are you done, hon? My wife just came to say she's done. She's going back to bed now. Yeah, good for you, honey. So let's see what she did. So she took, let me just go back to the 1 minute real quick here. See, so she rode this to here and then decided, okay, that's it, she's getting out. Okay, so that works. You can see that's probably a wise thing. It's starting to curl, and yeah, beautiful. So I think she made 150 bucks, and she's okay. 150 bucks, she's good. She's gone back to bed.
Nice play.
Yeah, it's it's just like that. You can do that, and
Play it to the downside now.
she could, but that's all she wants to do. She has a little goal she sets. She just wants to just get in and out and back to bed because she's not a morning person. So it was tough just to get her up to do this. Never mind. So that's that's a good move. Yeah, and she certainly could come back down with it and so forth. But yeah, it's all up to her.
I'm not a morning person either.
Yeah, I've been used to the mornings for so long, and it's just getting back into it again. Okay, so back to this guy. Well, I was on IGV, right? So IGV, still saying that, okay, are we at this point trying to figure out again if this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but the 5 is so long it's kind of throwing everything off. So this could be a whole 1, 2, and then we're going up, and then we're coming back down, something like this, and then we get a bounce again. So that is totally possible, but that would bring us back down in any case to the area that we're looking to come into. So that's the tech sector.
The ticks have been hugging the water line, and they're not very big at this point.
We're right there. So if we're going to bounce one more time, we're going to bounce, and that's it. Otherwise, like I say, we're coming straight down. So this could be just a collapse of that. We're right at the cusp here. I would really like to see it bounce now one more time so I can buy the 198 puts, but if not, that's fine because I have 196 puts in play. So either way, if it comes down fast, that's great. But I would have liked to have seen that push up so I could pick up some more. But are you still holding your puts from yesterday, George?
I still have them.
Yeah. So we do have a 1, 2, 3 top. I'm surprised here that it did not make that one final push, but I guess the bulls were not strong enough to do that at this point. But it's not over yet. I mean, we're still, this is getting a little long in the tooth here, but you could still see one more push, but it's looking a little less likely at this point. So for those who are with us and have not been here before, see, we have a few people that I don't recognize. What our objective here is for you to see how, let me just put that back on, for you to see how the simple 123 strategy works on the lower time frames here, 1 minute, 5 minute type thing, so that you can see how it works in real time. We usually play off the 1 hour and higher time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour daily, primarily. However, to see the formation of the 1, 2, 3 takes way too long. So we can't do that in real time, because even on the hourly, of course, then it takes 1 hour for one of these bars to form. So when you can see it playing out on the 1 minute time frame in real time, that's the whole objective here. We want to show you that you can actually get into a position and get out of a position within an hour or so of the opening bell, or at any time during the market. But the opening is usually quite buoyant, and that's why we look to the open the first hour to see if you can jump in and make a quick some quick profits. So the 1, 2, 3 is just a structure that we're looking for, a pattern that's a triangle this way, or it's an upside down triangle or V coming this way. So we're looking for this move to the upside this way, and we're looking for a move to the downside this way. So the key to this setup, we call this the first move, the second move, the third move, or wave. And the key is that the number 3 point does not break the number 1 point. Our entry is all in this area. So anywhere in this area is your entry. Ideally, the move back down in the retracement of point to between 2 and 3 comes into a sweet spot zone of about 62%, 50 to 62%. This is the kind of sweet spot. This is sweet spot because statistically, 89% of the time, approximately, we get price moving back into this little snippet area here, 50 to 62%. So by knowing that, we can always anticipate price moving here and looking to enter. But if you miss that, this anywhere in this area is still good to play to the upside. In this case, our stops would then be depending on where you get in, either below the number 3 point or below the number 1 point, depending on the distance and your risk tolerance. All right, we then have set targets based on fibs. These are all fibs, so we have targets based on fibs to the third wave of this move, because it's Elliott wave 1, the Elliott wave 1, 2, up to the Elliott wave 3, and that's what we're looking for to go to those targets and get out. So that's the basic gist of it, and we just try to do that. So here you can see the market did not do as I expected at this point, because we did have our 1, 2, 3. So if that was an entry, that would have been a great entry right there. So I'm just going to make this a little bigger, and I'll just explain it again. So if I put the fibs on here, the retracement tool, just on this little move, this is exactly what I was talking about here. So the 62% is right here. So we do that again. The 62% is right here. The 50% is right here. So that's a sweet spot. You can see exactly what I just said is what occurs most of the time. We go into the sweet spot for our entry. So in this case, because we're on the 1 minute time frame, our stop would be under here, because the distance is not that great. So that would be, this would be your risk on a move, and then you look for the move to the upside. But it usually plays out like this and goes one more time. However, in Elliott wave theory, sometimes the fourth wave does not, the fifth wave does not play out after a fourth wave. It's very rare that it doesn't occur, and in this case, this is one of those rare occurrences where it did not play out. So that's basically the entry. So if to get a more precision entry here, we would look for the lowest candle. In this case, this is our number 3 point. This is our number 2 point. The lowest candle would be this red bar right here. And then if you wanted to enter that trade to the upside, you would look for a breach of that red candle at that point right there. And that would have been the most precision entry at that point. You could then actually put your stop below that red candle, but you're taking a little bit of a risk. You give it a bit of room, just in case. The green candle did not take us out, but it was very close. And that would be your move to the upside. Well, actually, this candle wouldn't be in play because it didn't break the red. So maybe if I take this away, you could have put your stop here because this candle did not break it. It was this candle that caused us to enter at that point. So that would be okay, and your stop would have been fine here. So that's a precision entry into the 1, 2, 3 at that point for that move. So if we put the fibs on, if I put the fibs back on, we're usually trying to go to 1.618 to the to 1% is you could take a quick profit at 1%, 100% I should say, move from here, or you could go to the 1.618 as a secondary. So that would have made it just hitting that. So, and then after that, if you didn't take your profit here, of course you see that you would be. But again, usually we were looking for that move, one more move to the upside, but it didn't occur on that one. All right, so that's a look at what we're looking at all the time. This does not change. It's repeatable, and it doesn't matter what the time frame is that we're on. So this is the beauty of this. So I'm showing you on the 1 minute time frame because, like I say, if I go to the hourly time frame and look at this, then you can see. Let me look at it from the opposite way. Here's the 1, 2, 3 that I was just talking about. Entry area is here. And so you're looking to enter anywhere in this area. So there's your risk. You have your stop here, or you could put your stop here, or you could put your stop here in that case. And we're looking to enter a breach of the highest bar. In this case, at our number 3 point would be the green. So the precision entry would be here. And you'd be on your way down to the 1.618 area. So if I put the fibs on here, let's see how precise that is. So from the top to here, and there is 1.618, and I can't even make it up. So that would have been our target right there. Could also take one off at 100%, and you get a little pullback. You could also jump back in again at this point to come down. So that's the precision entries and exits of this system. It's a very simple concept and system, but the playing of it is the hard part because, of course, we as humans have all kinds of emotional baggage and so forth, and that's what makes it difficult.
Hey, Lennox, good morning. It's Khalik.
Good morning, Khalik.
If you look at the Euro 1 minute, you'll see that just today, you had 3 opportunities to make a quick day trades.
Yeah, I think the
using
dollar
the
has
1, 2,
been
3
heading
system.
down.
See, look at the 1, 2, 3 top. Yeah, there's the bottom one going up. But before this one, there's the 1, 2, 3 bottom, top.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, going down.
Yeah.
You could make easily 5 to 10 pips just doing this, and then 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's definitely, that's what it's all about. If you wanted to play on the lower time frame like this, you can do this.
Right.
That's what it showed. So it looks like the low point is here on that
Yes.
move. So you'd have
And
to
that
look
bar,
at
that green candle going up
Yeah,
That
you
that
can get
one,
in
yeah.
any of these entries here are good,
Yes.
and you could take that move to the upside.
And that's, I think right there is about 10 pips. Let me look at
22, 23. Yeah, so yeah, it's totally
it's
doable.
almost 20 pips.
You could do it that way. You could go to the 5 minute and catch the bigger fish, as it were,
Hmm.
and that's a nice move right there off the bottom.
Right.
So
Hmm.
yeah, and even here you can catch that
Yeah.
1, 2, 3
Yeah.
coming down. So
Yeah.
the opportunities are there, and it's just a matter of spotting them and taking the initiative and not being afraid
Yes.
to take the trade, right?
Right. Right.
Excellent. So you can see from yesterday what we were talking about, everything went against what I was saying, what I was expecting. You know, I wasn't expecting price to break this level yesterday, if you remember. And so I held out, hoping or expecting price to turn, but it would not turn. It just kept going up. So I finally capitulated and decided, okay, I'm going to get in here and ride it up. So, but I missed out on an entry down here to ride it up to here, even, just to make that would have been a nice profit in the morning had I just done that. But I was so expecting price to roll over that I couldn't see this moving up until it finally decided, okay, I guess it's not going to turn around, so let's just go with it. And you have to do that sometimes. You have to give up what you think is going to happen. What you expect to happen sometimes doesn't happen. And the market had other ideas. The bulls were just completely in charge. It was a battle for the longest time because remember how slow this went up, especially in here. It was very slow, and it looked like, okay, they couldn't break this high. But once they broke this high, that was it. It was
Yeah,
it was time.
this was all in a play when the market was really going crazy downward because of the Ukraine
Yes.
situation.
Well, this opening bar down here yesterday, just you just thought, okay, it's barely going to make it back up, and yes, it did do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even at this point, I thought, okay, maybe that's it, and it's just going to come down now, but no, it broke that high, so it's like, okay, and then finally broke this high that I said, okay, that's it. At this point here, I'm going to just take an entry and catch the move to the upside. So I did that and made some profits, but I had, we thought that we would get profits coming down. So we bought the 190s. So we lose on that one, but I gain it back on the moves to the upside. And that's fine. So now I have the 196s going. So I need to push down to that area. So it's looking like right now it's setting up. This is just a third wave at this point, and we could come back down into this area, maybe back down to here, and then we'll get that push, another push back to the upside. But it's going to be, looks like it's going to be a slow grind today. And if I drop to the 1 minute time frame, we should have a 1, 2, 3 top now, and we do. So there's our 1, 2, 3 top, and we're pushing back down. So we should come back into. So again, this is all expectation in this game. If you don't have any expectations of what price might do, it's very difficult to play. So you have to have some kind of expectation. And so this would be what I would see forming.
Well, that'll give us some nice profits on this down move.
Yes, it would. So we'll see if it, so the thing about the structure, the first one here, the height of it, the height is usually about the same as this final structure here. So the heights are usually very close to each other. This one is usually the longest. So that's kind of how the structure works. We get a longer move and then a shorter move, and that's kind of how it plays out. And we get that to here, and we can either go this way, but most of the time it's usually doing this. That's the way the structure kind of works, but it could go this way as well. But
That's your
we'll see if
inverse
that
head
plays
and
it.
shoulders.
So it's very slow motion.
Yeah, we're into a slow motion day, that's for sure.
We're already 45 minutes in, and
Usually by this time, we're well into profit situations when we have
yeah,
a good
so
market flow, but not today.
so I'm just going to go over this play again that my wife did. So she played XOM, and you can see that her exit was perfect. So XOM opened on this bar, and she waited for the 1, 2, 3. She jumped in somewhere in here, probably at the breach of that. Either not sure exactly where she got in, but she more than likely she's looking for a breach of the low bar, so she could have gotten in anywhere in this area. So that's perfect. And then she just rode this to the upside and take profit here. And she could have waited until the red bar broke the red bar or the green bar here to exit. That's a good sign to get out as well. And especially when the moving averages start to curl, that's also a good indication that maybe it's time for you to exit. And so that was a good exit on her part, because otherwise she would have been back down to where she started, and back quickly. And so she made $150 just on that move. So it's just like that, and she's okay with that. She's just learning, and she makes $100. She's super happy. That's US for her, and when she's going to work, her usual job, her salary for the day, it's about 150 Canadian. I think it's a little over 150 Canadian or something like that. So she makes 150 US. She's pretty happy.
Was that an option play or a stock
No,
play?
he actually we go in with this and buy the stock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
she would jump in and buy. So I think she might have been checking this morning and only bought 100 shares. I tell her to jump in with 2. So she probably would have had double. She probably would have had 300 if she bought 2, but it sounds like she just bought 1 this time. She might have been a
Right.
little
That's
bit.
what she did yesterday or day before, right? 300.
Yesterday she did 2, and she got 300, over $300 profit on that move. So yesterday's play for her was the same stock, and she played it from here. So this was the entry. So yesterday's move was this opened up here on this bar, so she jumped in right away here, and whoops, sorry, she jumped in on this big red bar. She just jumped on in because it's starting to come back down, and then she just rode it down to this level. But she bought 2, so then you can see that the distance today was about that much, and so she rode it all the way down. So she doubled her profits to 300.
So she sold 2.
Yes, she sold 200 shares. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, 200 shares.
Nice
You
play.
can play it by buying the shares, selling the shares. You can play it either way, or buying the option.
Mm-hmm.
So
Buying a put in this case.
But the only difference is when you do it with the shares, your account, you're buying at 70, whatever that was, $78. You have to have, that amount of money in your account, right? You have to have
Right.
7,800 for 100 shares. So you do it twice. Your account has to be quite buoyant. So you need at least a $50,000 account to do this.
Right.
So it's prohibitive for most. So it's not something that I would recommend unless you have that kind of money. but you're going in with a 50,000 account, you're borrowing. So in this case, you know, at 78.60, you're borrowing $7,860 or whatever to hold 100 shares, right?
Right.
And so twice that if you're doing two, and so your account has to, you know, even a $25,000 account could do this with stocks below $100.
Mm.
So you could do it. So you can buy or sell the shares this way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like, yeah, it's okay. It's an okay method, you doing the shares, but I prefer the options because with the options, I don't have to be worried about putting out so much and tying up so much capital. I'm just putting in $100. Say if the contract is $100 for those 100 shares. So they'll loan me 100 shares, $7,860 worth for $100, say, or even less. And then my profit, this profit here, $200, you know, or you know, $300, and on this move would be substantially more with an option. I could make 500% move on that with $100. So I could come out of there with, you know, $500-600 return compared to the return.
And the good thing about it is your risk is fixed.
My risk is fixed and the profit potential is unlimited. So I prefer the options.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good way for her to learn how the process works and so forth. And it does work quite effectively. So that's what she does there.
The point from someone like me learning this is that the 1, 2, 3 works. I mean, I've used it to make a little bit of money. And
yeah, that's the key to it. That you have to start to believe that this actually does work, and once you start to see it, and especially once you start to believe it, then you know that seeing it is one thing, but then believing it,
right,
that it actually does work. Yeah.
Yes. That's why I was pointing to
I can talk about it after the fact all the time, no problem. But seeing it playing out for yourself is what makes it
in real time. Yeah, like you do, which is great.
And I don't always get it right. You can see, yesterday, like I said from yesterday, my expectation yesterday was that we would. You can see it how it was on yesterday. So this is from the open yesterday. So I could have jumped in here yesterday, and we talked about that. Should I go in here at this time? I just didn't feel that it hadn't, after this big, huge open drop, I didn't think that it would have enough, the bulls would have enough oomph to bring this back up very much.
Yes.
So I'm holding on to that belief and neglecting to just, so this is where a little bit of too much overthinking instead of just taking advantage of the move. So my risk was here. So if all I had to do was just take the risk and say, okay,
right,
I'm just going to take the risk at this point and just go. So that would have given me, even if I, still thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to turn back or whatever, I'm still, making some profit regardless.
Right.
Even if I'm still thinking it's going to turn back here, and it's still going. That's the kind of thing I could have made nice profit to here, but I was just in disbelief that this would actually, when it started to turn here, I thought, okay, that's it. It's coming back down now for sure.
Right.
But it's still kept going. And even at this point, I was still in disbelief because I still didn't think that it was going to turn. So you can't. You have to be flexible, because what you think and what the market does are totally two different things. So breach of that point tells us a story here. Okay, maybe we're totally wrong and this thing is not going to turn back. So there's our first structure, and it played out. And now the expected move is this way. And yet I was still thinking maybe it's going to come and break. But at this point, I'm thinking, no, it's gonna come down. So I'm buying
Yeah,
puts.
our expectations are not always right.
That's right. And so I'm buying puts now, thinking, okay, yeah, we're coming down for sure. I mean, nope, it just kept going up. So it does another wave here, and it starts to go again. And it wasn't until it broke this level that I finally decided, okay, yeah, I'm wrong. It's going this way. So,
Right.
but yeah, you have to be flexible in this game, and take advantage of the of what it's doing. It might look like it's going to do what you think, but sometimes it does not. So you can see in here. Well, remember we battled through all this, and at this point I thought, okay, that's it. It's going to come down. We broke the level. Things are looking good, but nope, it turned again. Came back down again. Okay, maybe this is it. Nope, it turned again. And so it's like, okay, so a breach of this point, and that's it. You have to believe that, okay, it's over for you if it breaks that point. So when it finally did, that was it. So
that was a fourth wave.
this is a
Up
fourth
and
wave
down.
because that's very choppy. So choppiness indicates a fourth wave. Then we get a 1, 2, 3 move up to this point, and then we're on our way again. So it's it played out quite nicely. You can see. So if I put that line, let me just put a line across here.
All the indices are positive, the dollar is down.
So a breach of this line would be where, okay, that's it. You have to decide now, is it, it's going to be going to the upside. So as soon as you get a 1, 2, 3, either that one or this one or that one. So that gives us our 1, 2, 3 overall, and then that's the move. So that was it for me. Once it broke that point, it's okay, I have to buy now. But we're totally wrong going to the downside. But that took a long way for me to do that. So from the beginning, we're at 193. Let's say 193, and we started down at 188. So that's 5 points. That's a lot of points that were left sitting on the table. But it was okay because still made profits going to the upside. So we're still in a struggle here, eh? Yeah, the bears are having a hard time, or yeah, the bulls are having a hard time as well, as you can see. So it's a bit of a battle. So we're back in the green. The Dow is back up quite a lot. So if I go to yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to turn around, George.
Yeah, I know.
It looks very strong here. So on the Diamonds, this is Dow Jones, is very strong today. So the charts I showed you yesterday on the Market Watch, if you remember, in my account, I use Thinkorswim, and it's very very powerful. So here's the Nasdaq today. You can see we have it's a battle. It's 49.51, 49 advancers, 48 advancers now, 52 decliners. So it's a battle on the Nasdaq. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow Jones is, where are you, Dow? Oops, there you are. So the Dow, it's a lot of advances, 24 out of the 30 are advancing today. So very strong in the Dow. In the Dow
Yes.
component, let's look at the map. The Dow components, you know, the big boys are really pushing it here. You've got the Johnson, Merck, United Health, Amgen. These guys are all pushing the markets big time here today. So, and then if we look at the IWM, the Russell 2000 is here, and it's also pretty close, advancing 985, declining 872. So it's a battle as well, and you can see there's some big greens here, a couple, three. This is never heard of them, AERI. This is 8PPH, never heard of them either. And CARG, this is Cargill Company. They're doing quite well today. So you can see it is quite a battle overall in the markets today, as the combatants try to find a foothold, as it were, to make a decision of which way to go. So it's looking, again, quite strong. So we've pushed above that level on the 5 minute. On the 15, we're pushing above that level. So it's trying very hard here. So again, my expectation of this move coming down at this point is again being breached. So it can still turn down, of course, even here, but the line in the sand is kind of like right there. So this move might not be complete. So I'm seeing it like on the 15 here. And if that's a quick turn, then we know that's it. So here we have 1, 2, and that seems a bit quick, but you know, this is the reality of it. So you just have to go with the reality of it. So there it is. It's a very quick move. So that would take us up to here. All right, so let me go back in again, George, and see what's going on. All right, so do I have to go and do another buy here for 200 calls just for insurance? I might have to do that. So let's see what the 200 calls are going for today. They're relatively inexpensive, so for 50 bucks, I could just buy an insurance play just in case. I am going to do that because it just seems like it doesn't want to stop. So if I'm wrong, then you know my insurance is fine. I've got still the puts down. So I just buy an insurance play for the 200 calls. So if price does indeed come up and break this level, which again I'm not expecting that, but you know this is like an insurance, then at least it offsets any losses I get this way. If I'm wrong, that $50 is okay, and I'll still make profits coming down. So we'll see how that plays out. So you have to make adjustments. You have to be flexible if things aren't going your way. You want to mitigate the losses if at all possible.
Activity is really slow today.
Very slow. So we're at an hour in, and yeah, today I don't really want to sit. Yesterday we were on yesterday just off the grid, and I'll keep it to the 1 hour today, and we'll be back again at the close, just before the close, an hour before the close, at 3 p.m. Eastern. So if anyone wants to join us at that time, please do so, and we'll see how this plays out by then. And because right now it's just we're watching the paint drying on the screen, and it's not so much fun at this point. All right, so hopefully you got a little something out of it.
Is Exxon Mobil making a 123 top right now on the 5 minute anyway?
Let's see. XOM. Let me just go up a little higher just to see what's going on. Okay, so it's made quite a push to the upside there on the 15. So I just want to take a look at it from the daily. Okay, so now I see where we are. So it's always a good idea to look at the charts from a higher time frame just to get an idea of where you are overall. So you can see, the expected move would be something to the upside, and then it will be coming back down. So the energy sector was strong because of all what's going on in Ukraine. So
right,
4 hour, you can see we're kind of very slanty here, but the structure has completed. 4 hour, 1 hour, and yeah, this is a kind of a messy, very volatile. So we're back to the top of that channel, and yeah, the expected move will be back down to retrace this move that went up.
Right. So if you look at the 15 minute, there's a 1, 2, 3, I think.
Yeah. So now that would be what I would expect at that point for this to come back down. So let's see.
The 5 minute is even better.
Okay. There. So at this point, however, because we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom, this could be just our fourth wave, and we could push one more time.
I see. Okay.
So you have to be careful about going. However, remember that we're inside of a channel. So because we're inside of a channel and we're up at near the top of the channel, it's possible, say our channel's like that we could be done at this point too. And this will not make it past this level. So you have to be aware of where you are overall in the structure, because these are not our nice clean structures. This could be just an ABC type of effect going on. So you have to be aware of where you are overall. So I'd go back, if I was really looking at this, I would go back up to this time frame and put some trend lines on, if at all possible here, just to get an idea. And then come back down to that level and look at it. So now we can see that where we are, we're right there on at that cusp of that line. So yes, we could come back up one more time, certainly, right, based on our structure, but we could also not break it and just come back down too, because of the fact that we're at our resistance line.
Right, because the risk, if you were to take this trade to the downside, the risk is small, and the potential to go down.
Yeah, you can look at this does not look like a move that's gonna take us to the downside at this point, though.
Oh, okay.
It looks more like a move that's gonna take us to the upside, but like, of course, this was. Your risk would be, in this area here, right? So, if you felt that it was going to come down, that's. But it doesn't look like it at this point. We have to, especially after this move. It looks like we still have another push to the upside to go.
I see. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. So again, you have to be flexible. You have to look at the probabilities and the potential moves that it could do. Not just the one that you think it's going to do, right? Like what I showed you.
Right.
So, all right. So we will be back at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. So thanks to everyone for hanging with us, and we'll see you then. Thanks, George.
Thank you, Lennox.
Thanks, Lennox and George.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
George and Lennox.
All right. We'll see you guys later. hopefully you can make it back. All right, take care.
Okay. You too.
Take care now.
Bye now.
Bye.